Welcome to another episode of Behind the Dreamers. I'm Jennifer Loading, and we are talking to the achievers, the creators, the magic makers, and the dreamers. These are our friends. These are your friends, and they are living the extraordinary. Well, I'm so excited about my guest today. This is the first time we're actually meeting. This is going to be so much fun because I've already checked him out, and he's done some great things. He's doing some great things. But he is a multi-time national champion heavyweight Olympic boxer turned motivational speaker. He says that if there's one message that is universal today, it is about the power of the mind and the importance of tapping into your unique and multifaceted self-leadership to achieve your goals. So I'm so excited to get him on here and chat with him. But before we do that, we got to do a quick shout out to our sponsors. So today's episode is brought to you by Walt Mills Photography. If you are a creator needing post-production, consultation, or promotion, Walt is your guy. Whether short films, YouTube films, photography work, or a new headshot, he can help you find a solution to match your needs. To learn more about Walt and his work, you want to go to photosbywalt.com. All right, Cam, I'm so excited to get you on here. So I'm going to tell these guys about you. So Cam F. Awesome, a.k.a. the Motivational Comic, is a former Olympic heavyweight, multi-time national champion boxer with over 400 wins under his belt. Woohoo! In order to become the winningest boxer in USA boxing history, and this is, I got to say all these things, Cam, because this is pretty impressive to me, holding 4 Golden Glove championships, 6 U.S. championships, 3 PAL national championships, 6 ringside championships, and 3 Olympic trials, Cam had to find a system to push through the challenges of losing in order to keep on fighting and ultimately win more championships than any other boxer. Woohoo. He rose to fame after being featured in the Netflix documentary Counterpunch, which chronicled his Olympic journey. Today, Cam uses his wit, humor, and life experiences to inspire and entertain audiences around the country as a motivational speaker and comic. Cam, welcome to the show. I'm so excited to chat with you today.
Oh, thank you for having me. I'm excited too.
This is so fun because I just love that you're like got this serious side to you. And then there's this motivational / comic, this wit and humor. I'm loving this part because it just shows like the different facets of who you are as a human being, right? Like you've got this serious winning side, but then this fun, kind of creative, witty side.
Yeah, I think, first of all, I think we all have it. But I think whoever we start hanging out with when we're a certain age, we start to fall into who we think we should be. And then we tell ourselves what we are, and then we follow that belief.
Yeah.
So like, oh, I'm an anxious person. And then you start to become more anxious. And like, I'm super anxious. And whatever you think you are, you're right.
Yeah. I would agree with you on that. It's kind of like we talk about the circle of influence, right? Like you are like the 5 people that you hang around most. And so if you're putting yourself in a space with, winning people that are achieving, you're probably going to naturally sort of gravitate that way. And if you're over here not, you're probably going to sort of gravitate that way, right? So I agree with you on that wholeheartedly. So good stuff.
Yeah.
Okay, so let's start off with all the boxing stuff. I want to know, I have to know this. So when you were young, did you just I'm going to be a boxer. Am I going to do this, be a heavyweight championship, or did this just sort of kind of come about and evolve for you?
Actually, I never was a fan of boxing or sports. I wasn't very athletic, wasn't good at sports, but I was overweight as a kid, and I was very insecure, and I had anxiety, and I had a bully that lived on my block when I was about 7 years old, and I had to walk by his house to get to school. And he would bully me so often that they would release me from school 15 minutes early so I can get home before he get to me.
Wow.
And because of that, I developed this anxiety. I didn't know what anxiety was at the time,
Sure.
But I just knew I was afraid of big crowds, and I was always afraid of getting beat up. And I thought if I joined the boxing gym, and I didn't want to actually be a boxer, but I want to learn how to fight. I wanted to protect myself. And also, I thought if I became a big buff boxer, I'd probably get a date to prom. So secondary gains.
I love it.
Did not get a date to prom, but
but you became an incredible athlete.
But yeah, I found out a formula. So when I was about 14 years old, I found out how calories work in school. Like they explained it. Like You burn naturally about 2,000 calories a day. You consume about 2,000 calories a day. You break even.
Mm.
So I'm a very simple person. And I don't even mean that in a bad way. I'm very simple-minded. The way my brain took that was, if you burn more calories than you consume, you lose weight.
Right.
You can strip every diet down that has ever existed. That's what it works out to be.
Yeah.
There isn't a single diet that hasn't worked. That was just a side note.
Yeah.
Now, I figured out, like, okay, if I burn more calories than I consume, I lose weight. So I wanted to join a team, but I wasn't good at sports, so I couldn't make a team. So I decided to do, because I was a really cool kid, I decided to wake up really early before school and rollerblade for an hour.
Love it.
Around my neighborhood. And I did it 6 days in a row, like every morning for an hour. And at no point in those 6 days did anyone stop me and say, "Hey, Cam, I can tell you're losing weight. Keep up the good work." And after like day 6, I remember having a thought to myself, like, am I wasting my time? Because I'm sore, I'm tired, I don't need to wake up this early. But then I looked at the formula, like 1 + 2 = 3. If I burn more calories than I consume, I will lose weight. And I figured math is always right.
Right.
And I didn't gain all this weight overnight. I'm not going to lose in 6 days. And I continued on. But after about 3 months, people started to say, "Oh, look at Cam. He thinks he's skinny." And I would blush. Because like, oh, it's working. It's working. And because of that, I realized an equation. 1 + 2 = 3. This is how I became a boxer. 1 + 2 = 3. In this equation, you are always one. You are number one. You should always be your own number one. No one's going to care more about your success than you, and no one's going to believe in you until you start believing in yourself. You're number one. The end of it, number 3 in this equation, 1 + 2 = 3. 3 is the outcome, the objective. What's the goal? 1 + 2 = 3. What is 2? 2 is everything you need to do to get to 3. 1 + 2 = 3. So in this equation, me plus rollerblading equals losing weight.
Right.
1 + 2. Now, the reason why I call number two, because it's the shitty part of the job.
Yeah.
It's the thing that no one wants to do. It's the actual work. It's the discipline. The thing about this equation, 1 + 2 = 3, there's no room for your feelings.
It's good.
You could do number 2 while you're happy. You could do number 2 while you're hungry. You could do number 2 while you're sad. But it's going to have to get done.
Got to get done.
Now, what I share at my speech is, if you can fail without being discouraged, success becomes inevitable.
Yeah.
Now, the whole idea is not to be discouraged. Because if you can fail and keep going, you just learned and you have experience to keep on going. So one of the big things I preach is like, it's cool to fail.
Right.
Like, because every time you fail, you learn something and you continue to go. I feel like I'm rambling. What were we talking about?
No, you're good. Yeah, we were talking. No, this is good. We were talking about how you got into boxing. No, this is really good. But let's get on to this formula for a minute, because I think this is really good. Because you're touching upon the whole idea of discipline, right? Which a lot of times people are like, I don't want to do this because I don't feel like doing it. Sometimes you just got to do the discipline, right? Because eventually what happens is, I think you get into this place where it's like exercising, where it sort of evolves into becoming your routine without you thinking about the routine, right? Like it sort of becomes your unconscious competent thing, because you learn to do it. But you've got to create the discipline in order to get to that level, because it's not just going to happen. So you touched upon something really, really good there. I like that you put it in simple terms with this formula, because like you, sometimes, I think we overcomplicate things. And I think when we have these little simple things, right, bring it simple, people can go, okay, 1 + 2 = 3. I'm the 1, the 2 is the discipline and the work, and the 3 is what we're trying to achieve at the end. Love it.
Yeah. But it requires personal accountability and extreme honesty.
Yeah.
1 + 2 = 3.
Right.
Because in this equation, I decided after I lost enough weight, I decided to go to the boxing gym. Now, I was always going to go to the boxing gym, but I wanted to lose weight before I went because I felt like I would got made fun of if I went there that big. It's kind of like brushing your teeth really well before going to the dentist.
Right.
And 1 + 2 equals 3. So now it's like 1 is me, 2 is working out in the boxing gym. And I didn't want to spar or get hit or hit anyone, but working out, losing weight. 1 + 2 equals 3. The more I go to the boxing gym, the more I lose weight. I lived in the boxing gym. It was open from 8 to 4. I was there the entire time. I was always trying to help the coach. I was always trying to do something. And I got to the point where I got in better shape than all the other boxers. And I lost all the weight. But it was the only place that I had competence. I wasn't popular in school. I didn't have many friends, but I found something I got accepted in the boxing gym, so I was always there. And then one day the coach said, "Hey, Cam, do you want to get in the ring? You're in better shape than most of these guys." And I was like, "Oh, my parents won't let me." And then everyone laughed, and I was like, "I'm joking."
Yeah.
And then I got in the ring to spar for the first time, and I was terrified. I never competed in an organized sport before. This is the first competition I'm ever having, even though it's in the gym and it's not really a big deal. But I built this up, and I was so afraid to get hit that was my only objective. So the equation immediately became me plus not getting hit equals surviving. That was the goal.
I love it.
And I didn't get hit at all. Granted, I didn't hit him, but I didn't get hit at all.
Yeah.
And it was such a good workout. Sparring was because you move around so much. Right. It was way better of a workout than rollerblading or hitting the bag. And I was like, oh, well, if I don't get hit, it's not going to hurt. So the equation changed to me plus sparring equals losing weight really fast.
Yeah.
I got addicted to sparring. I sparred everyone in the gym. As a bigger guy, I wouldn't normally spar like a guy who's 120 pounds. But I did. Because I would spar with him and say, hey, I'm not going to hit you. I'm bigger than you. Right. You just throw punches at me and I'm going to do defense. I did that for like 4 hours a day. Everyone wanted to spar with me because there's no consequences. I wasn't going to hit you back, and I don't even hit hard. And then I realized boxing wasn't that hard because of the equation. I realized most boxers, the only reason why I was doing well is I was in better shape than everyone else. Most boxers won't wake up 2 hours before school and go running. They won't wake up 2 hours before work and go work out. I'm willing to do that. That's the number 2.
Love it.
And as soon as I figured that clicked my first month boxing, and immediately I said I was going to be the number 1 boxer in the world.
I love it.
Didn't even come close to that, but crazy goal, right?
Yeah.
Like within 2 years, I qualified for the 2008 Olympic trials. Like I lost. I wasn't that experienced. I was new to the sport, but even getting there was such a feat.
Right.
Because I followed the equation. It was the discipline part of it. My senior year in high school, my boxing gym was 6 miles away from my high school. I walked 6 miles a day.
Wow.
It would take me about 3 hours to do that walk. And this was back before we had music on our phones.
Yeah.
And I didn't have batteries for my MP3 player. So I would have to walk the 6 miles with no music. So what I would do is I would start make up stories in my head. And if I'm going to make up stories, I'm going to be the protagonist. I'm a superhero. I was kicking butt in all of these stories. I was winning all my fights. I had all the girls. I had all the money. None of this was true, but this is what I just thought. Mm-hmm. So I would walk for 3 hours and then work out for 2 hours. That made me such a confident person. Because it was basically affirmations followed by actions. Yeah. I became cocky. I was a super unconfident kid like 2 years ago, but I became obnoxious. I was cocky. And I ended up winning nationals in 2008, 2009, 2010, 2011. I was unstoppable. No one could tell me anything. And I won the Olympic trials in 2012 to go to the Olympics, to represent the U.S. in the London Olympics. And then I became the first boxer to get kicked off the Olympic team for not sending in paperwork. And I got humbled by life. What happened was I left to go fight in Azerbaijan to fight in a tournament. Okay. A tournament that you get drug tested to fight in. Yeah. But I forgot to tell the drug testing agency I was leaving the country. and they showed up to my home in Kansas City to give me a random drug test. Missed drug test, a positive drug test. On a technicality, I was suspended for a positive drug test.
Gotcha.
All that cockiness went away really quickly.
Right.
I was humbled by life. It was embarrassing because like I was on the news and stuff like that, and
Sure.
everyone in my neighborhood knows I'm going to the Olympics, and they would see me in Walmart and they'd ask me about it. And then after I got suspended, I didn't tell anyone because I was embarrassed. And they would see me in Walmart and they're like, "Hey man, are you ready?" And I stopped leaving my house. I was depressed. I started to drink a lot. I gained a lot of weight. And then at some point I lost a bet and had to be vegan for 28 days.
Interesting.
And the diet entails sobriety.
Yeah.
Which meant for the first time during my suspension, I had to deal with my problems. After those 28 days went by, I became more of a positive person as I became sober. And I realized, like, I decided to get back into boxing. And I went back to the boxing gym and I'd work out for 3 days and then I would fall off. I'd work out for a few days and I'd fall off. I just couldn't do number 2. I was constipated.
Gotcha.
Then I was so frustrated that like I was beating myself up. And then I thought back to me in 2012 versus me in 2006 when I was walking to school, thinking so highly of myself. The difference between the two is one of us liked me. I didn't like myself in 2012.
Yeah.
But in 2006, I believed in myself. I was happy. And I was like, oh, I need to be my biggest fan again. I need to get back to being that person. I was humbled by life. And this is when everything changed for me. Now, I don't want anyone to agree with me. What I do want to do is challenge the way we think.
Right. I love this.
Now, words are powerful, right? Do you have your phone on you or something you can Google?
Yeah, I got my phone. What are we Googling?
Okay. Can you look up the word humble?
I can look at it.
Now, as you look that up, do you have any children?
I have 3 children. Yep.
Okay. Let's go with the middle one because we're often forgotten about.
Are you a middle child?
I am.
All right. I do have one of those middle children. I know. Okay. I got the word humble.
You might have forgot about it.
Yeah.
Okay. Now, read me the first definition of this
It
word.
says having or showing a modest or low estimate of one's own importance.
Does that sound like a positive trait you would wish on your child?
No.
Maybe that's a fluke. Read me the second definition.
A low social, administrative, or political rank.
Does that sound positive?
Low social, administrative, or political. No.
Is there a third definition?
It goes into the verb.
Okay. But basically, if you go far enough down, you will see that
there's a positive one that comes up.
No, there's not. The Latin root word of this is lowly.
Yeah, it's getting into lower. The verb says lower. Someone in dignity or importance. It's getting,
So when I'm going to ask you a question. Who does being humble serve? Now, before you answer that, I will say, be humble in the eye of the Lord. But last time I checked, Jennifer, that wasn't you.
Right.
So who does being humble serve?
It doesn't really, I don't know, because it sounds negative. I
think it's...
Yeah, I mean, I'm looking at all the words that it's like giving you for like synonyms and stuff, right? Like it's got similar: humiliate, demean, belittle, lower, degrade. I mean, these are the words that are coming up. And when we talk about being humble.
Yes. Now, I know listeners are thinking, because this is, we've been socially conditioned to be humble.
Right.
But we've never actually looked into the word. And now you're rejecting this as you hear it.
This is good. I like it.
As you reject this, realize that you can come up with as many sayings as you want. Well, being humble doesn't mean thinking less of yourself. It just means thinking of yourself less. Well, that's just a cute saying. What does that mean? It doesn't really mean anything. And also, no one's going to care about your goals or your success more than you are. So I don't see the value. So in 2012, I realized that I was humbled by that situation. And I continued to be humble, and I needed to change the way I thought. I needed to believe in myself again. So I needed to change some things about myself. And the first thing I decided to change was my name.
I like it.
We speak what we become what we speak.
So we're awesome.
I made myself awesome.
I love it.
Yes, we are.
I love it. This is so good. I've never, it's funny because when I don't really, I've had this conversation with people before and I never really thought about it this way. I've had this, thing because you hear this a lot with people talking about being humble, right? Like you're right. We're conditioned. People that they're achievers a lot of times are getting told that they're not humble, right? Like because they go out and they're after things and they're bold and they're courageous, right? And there's been this idea that being humble is there's like this positivity towards it, right? Like be that way, right? So you pick between being, I'm going to be the achiever, and then am I being humbled by you? I never thought of it, and then you look it up, and now I'm looking at all this, and I'm going, like this. All the words that are coming up. No. Like, thank you for sharing that. I've never quite looked at it that way. So good.
It's when you look at it, when someone finds out I changed my last name to Awesome, the first thing like, oh, you must think highly of yourself. Yeah, I do. Well, it's free.
Exactly. And you should. Amen.
Yeah.
You should.
Yeah. I think very highly of myself. Why? Because I do number 2.
Yeah.
Okay. So I am up, like when I think I'm awesome, you must think I'm up here. That means you think you're down here because you're humble. Now, what you want me to do is you want me to humble myself
to come
to the Latin root word lowly.
Yeah.
To come down to you so you can feel more comfortable. Think about the people that, Jennifer, something good happens in your life.
Yeah.
And you don't let them know.
Right.
Because you don't want them to feel bad.
You're giving me chills. Yes, exactly.
What I want them to do is lift themselves up and meet me up here.
Right.
There's enough of this to go around.
I agree. This is good. Best part of the show right here. Like you just did it. Bam. Mic drop. Come on.
Mic drop. All right, see you guys later.
No kidding. No, you're so right because I've talked about this so many times on my show, how the higher that you move up in your, whatever it is, in your achievement, your personal development, all the things that you do, right? Like your circle gets smaller, right? It's not that you necessarily weed people out. They start weeding themselves out, right? Because what happens is you get into that situation where now you're here and they're here and you have a choice. Either they have to come up or you end up having to come down. And a lot of times what happens is these people want you to come down to their level, right? And so then you find what ends up happening. Then you have cognitive dissonance, right? Because now you're trying to justify why you're here and you're feeling bad because you're up here doing the things that you're doing to achieve and thinking highly of yourself, right? So what do? You're like, okay, so now I'm going to be feeling bad about doing this. So maybe I won't reach for the goal that I'm trying to go for or reach out to that person or do that thing, because why would I want to do that? I don't want these people to feel bad. I love it, Cam. This is so good. Change the.
I don't want those people to feel bad. I'll go. I don't want to. If I skip out with them hanging out Saturday night because I want to work out Sunday morning.
Yes.
They might think I'm better than them.
Right.
If I start posting about my workouts, they're going to think I'm better than them. I'm getting these accomplishments because I'm waking up early in the morning to get something done that they're not willing to do.
You're doing the two.
I'm doing the two.
I love it. That's what it's all about.
But the thing is, you mentioned something very, very important. The more successful you become, the smaller your circle gets. Because those people who don't want to wake up early with you or stay up late at night working with you, those people start to drop away because you live your life a little bit differently. And if they live their life differently, they'll be where you are. Yep. But you're making that sacrifice, aren't you?
Yeah.
Don't feel bad about yourself. Right. Celebrate that.
Right.
What makes a unicorn special is it's by itself. You can't work this hard to be amongst the top and then be mad that there's not a lot of space up there.
Right. I love it.
And it just comes with the territory.
Yeah, I love it. This is so good. I'm so glad I got you on here. I think just that bam. That information, because it's this stuff we talk about all the time, and and I work with a lot of people, a lot of clients, and that's kind of the conversation. I mean, especially with women, with their self-worth and understanding that it's okay to set yourself apart and do the work. And like I'm a very disciplined person. I do work out every single day. I get up at 5 o'clock almost every day of the week. Saturday, I might sleep till 6, but I'm pretty much up at 5 every day. And I work out every day, and I have my routine. And when people full, like, get into the middle of my routine. I'm not really a happy camper because that's my time to do what I need to do to get my day and make everything happen. But, I think you've said some very important things here. It's the people that are willing to, like you were talking, walk those 6 miles or get up and do the things that everybody else is not willing to do, right? That's what sets you apart. It's the doing the discipline, the activities that you need to do to get the outcome that you want and doing that consistently, right? Being different, set yourself apart. I love it.
Yeah.
Good stuff.
I love that.
So now you're motivating and speaking and doing all these great things, and this is your message, right?
Yeah. So what's actually, to take this back in the very beginning, the reason why I decided I wanted to do the Olympics, because that was my goal, was I thought if I went to the Olympics, even if I didn't get a medal, I could get on TV. And if I get on TV, I can get a TV show and an agent. And because I always wanted to be, do you remember the show All That growing up?
Yes. Yeah.
I wanted to be on that show.
Gotcha. Okay. Awesome.
I wanted to be a performer, but I didn't know how. And I thought if I figured out the formula 1 + 2 = 3. I was like, I'll go to the Olympics. I'll do a crazy interview. I'll see an agent will see me. He's like, that kid's got something special, because I do. And then I'd have a TV show. That was the plan. It didn't work out like that. But after I got suspended in 2012, I realized I did all of this to go to be a performer. I wanted to be on stage. I did all this boxing things for this goal. And I didn't get it. And I never even got on stage. So in 2012, I started doing open mic comedy nights. And I started doing comedy full time. So as I traveled around, I actually returned to boxing in 2013, reclaimed my spot as national champion and captain of the USA national boxing team. And as I would travel around the country for fighting, I would also do comedy shows, because now the goal wasn't just boxing. I wanted to be a performer, and I was going to treat that as the number one thing in my life. I started to MC vegan festivals, because I'm still vegan to this day. And I realized there's an audience for that. So I could get on stage for 8 hours every weekend. Malcolm Gladwell said 10,000 hours.
10,000 hours, yeah.
Being on stage for 8 hours at a veg fest, I'm going to get close to that 10,000 hours.
That's right.
Every open mic night, I'm on any stage you can see. I'm speaking at Boys and Girls Clubs. I'm speaking for free. I'm speaking at churches. I'll speak anywhere you want me to speak, because I wanted to get stage time. All while I'm still the number one boxer in the country. I would sneak out from training camp after workouts to go perform and get a couple stage time to try out new jokes. In 2016, we fought in Reno, Nevada at a hotel casino. And I performed at the Laugh Factory. I did 6 shows at the Laugh Factory while I was fighting in the Olympic trials. Because the actual goal here is to be a performer. I don't care about medals. I don't care about money. I just wanted to be on stages. Now, what I started to do was I would speak at high schools and middle schools about bullying, why I originally got involved in boxing. And I would, to be honest, I didn't want to do open mic nights. I got lazy. So what I would do is I would save 5 minutes at the end of my speech to practice jokes. And that was basically my open mic. And the students liked that part better than the speech. And I realized there's a market, although it doesn't exist yet, but motivational humor.
Yeah.
Because if the kids are laughing, they're listening.
Right.
If they're listening, they're learning. No one can get them to listen. No one can get them to learn. So I started to create an act. So I would do comedy clubs at night to work on presentations. And as I would travel around the country fighting, I would also speak at schools. I would speak about positivity, acceptance, resilience, appropriate social media use, the long-term effects of a digital footprint, things that kids and adults don't think about. And in 2016, I won the Olympic trials to represent the U.S. in the Rio Olympics. And that was documented in the Netflix documentary Counterpunch. Mm-hmm. But then I lost in international competition and didn't get to go to Rio.
Gotcha.
July 4th, I lost. I made a tweet that day. And I said, I lost my fight. My Olympic run is over. Time to reinvent myself and see what's next for me. It may not be boxing. That was me putting it out to the world that I was going to go hardcore with performing. A year later, I bought a van and I lived in my van as I travel around the country speaking at about 200 schools a year.
Wow.
I decided to live in a van because if I did, I don't have to pay for hotels, flights, or car rentals. And I spoke about 200 schools a year for about 3 years. Wow. When the pandemic happened, that stopped. But while I was doing that, I was still training for the Olympics. But now that I had started a business, Team USA wouldn't allow me to fight for them. They said I have to dissolve my business since it's an amateur sport. So my dad is from Trinidad. So I learned information about my dad's country. I flew to Trinidad. I took their test. I became a citizen. I have my dual citizenship. I fought in the Olympic trials. I won by knockout. I returned to the U.S. and was training for the Olympics. And then the pandemic happened. So this goal that I've been chasing since I was 16, so 16 years of my life, I've been going after the same goal, for I guess more than half my life. And I fell short. But if you would look at that as my goal was the Olympics, I didn't go to the Olympics. I failed my goal. But if you look at what things actually are, and you can take your emotions away from it, I've been to over 30 countries as captain of the USA national boxing team. I have friends all over this world. I've been to tons of states. I've been on planes I can't count how many times. I was able to build a career for myself for after this. Yeah. It's not a failure. Right. But look at the way we look at goals, though, because a lot of us are so afraid of failure, we set small goals. My goal, I never made a team. I was like, I'm going to the Olympics. No, it's an unrational reason, and it's not a reasonable goal, some would think. But a lot of us, what if I would have set my goal for state championships? Because a lot of us, we want momentum more than we are willing to experience failure.
That's good. Yeah.
So if I would set my goal for state championship and I fell short,
would have been lower.
I wouldn't have had anything.
Yeah.
So what I like to think of goals as a lighthouse. You're in the ocean. From a distance, you see that lighthouse. That's the direction you're going in. That's the only thing you need to be concerned with. The closer you get to the lighthouse, the more details you're going to see on that lighthouse. The more details you see, the more you're going to realize that lighthouse doesn't exactly look the way you thought it was going to look.
I love it, Cam.
That lighthouse for me was the Olympics. As I got closer to it, there's things I didn't foresee. I didn't realize how many days I'd be training. I didn't realize I'd miss holidays with my family. I'd miss weddings and funerals. Like, I didn't sign up. I didn't know I signed up for all that, but these are details I'm starting to see as I'm getting closer. Now, I never got to the lighthouse. The goal is a lighthouse. I never got to the Olympics. But the ride there, I've won more boxing matches than anyone else in the history of the sport. That in itself should be an accomplishment.
Absolutely. Ooh. Absolutely.
But I could not celebrate that, and I could just be bummed out that I didn't go to the Olympics.
Right.
There's so many things that you can complain about.
Yeah. I think it's good, Cam. It's good. I love it. Well, in your journey, and I think that's the thing, as I know, personally as an entrepreneur, we talk about that and adopt that we all, there are really no failures. Everything is a lesson. And just in your journey, listening to you talk about your journey that, you wanted to be a performer, I think it's so interesting because really everything that you did was really on some level of performance, right? But, and it's a non-linear process, right? Like you didn't anticipate doing boxing. You got there because you were bullied and you wanted to lose weight and you wanted to get better at fighting and it sort of evolved into all of this to where you are today, which is doing your speaking and bringing all this together. So I feel like there are really no accidents. I think all these things are the layers that build our character and get us to the next stage of our, I guess what I like to say, our purpose and our calling and what we really should be doing. And the beauty of this, Cam, is I think is when we get to figure out what that is, like what we're supposed to be doing. Because I think so many times people do what you say, they fall short of their dreams. They do these small goals. And when they don't reach them, it's a failure and they're done. So they never really find their full calling or their purpose because they never have the opportunity to step into the dream world and go after things, right? I love your story. I'm so glad you shared it. And I'm glad you touched on all these things because I would say, what advice do we need to give? I think you dropped all the nuggets already. Like they're all there. We need to set the big goals. We need to do the discipline. Even when we don't feel like it, show up and do the work and be different. Be okay with being different. We don't want to be humble. We want to speak into action what we want, right? Which is the KMF awesome. Yes. I love the awesome. Hey, I have to tell you a story about the awesome, really funny, because this doesn't happen to me so much as often. When I first started doing my show, like I would get hung up on a word. Like I would say, and it'd be like the word awesome. I love the word awesome. I love saying that word because I think it's just a fun, bold word. Oh, that's awesome. You tell you are awesome, right? Okay. So I would say this like in the show, like 100 times. And then my camera guy would make fun of me because it'd either be that or like 100%. I would just have this word, everything. I would just keep repeating it. So, but awesome is a word that I really, really like. And I use it a lot, even when I type in my stuff with lots of exclamation points. So I'm glad you're using it.
You wouldn't imagine how many times I get tagged on Facebook.
Do you? I bet, because you're awesome. They're like, awesome. And it comes to you and you're like, wait, was that mine? It looks good. It's got awesome. And I guess they were talking to me today.
Yes. It's the energy you put out. And changing my last name, and I'll end by this, but every interaction I've had with someone has been memorable because they see my name, whether it's they check my ID at the airport, like, that's awesome. And like, we share this interaction and it's just good energy. And when I walk away from that interaction, I walk into my next interaction with that same energy.
Love it.
And then people expect, because if you become that, before I leave my car, I usually have a few songs I'll listen to, pump myself up before I even walk into a happy hour. And when I walk in, I open the door, I'm all smiles. I'm bringing genuine, real energy. And when people see that, I don't care what they're doing. They stop and they turn on their energy.
I like it. Yeah.
Every time I go into a room. And then I train them. When they see me, they know, they got to bring their energy. And sometimes I don't want to bring that energy. Right. Like sometimes I'll be down and I go into a room and someone smiles at me. I'm like,
put it on.
It snaps me out of my mood.
Yep.
But it's not even put it on. It takes me out. Yeah. Because sometimes you're trapped in your head and you're thinking about all the things that's not going right. And then someone just smiles at you and gives you a hug. You're like, oh, actually, yeah. Right. I don't even remember why I was worried that I didn't have milk left or whatever your mind is trapped, whatever feedback loop you're in.
Right. I'm with you. 100%. I'm with you. Bam.
100%.
Bam. 100%. Wait, you know what I tell my people all the time? It's like funny because I always know for me personally, like when I'm getting in those loops, that I call it like the bad brain thinking loop, I know two things need to happen. One, I either need to read or I need to get out and talk to people. I need to find people in my circle that are going to lift me up because those two things will pull me out of that quickly. Or mantras. I have mantras that I use sometimes too. But those two things I think are instrumental in our growth as leaders, just because it gets us to thinking about other things, pulls us out of our own self. And, and when you're talking to other people, I think it removes, especially if you're asking questions and getting to know people, it really removes it's about me, right? Because anytime you're engaging and helping other people or serving or inquiring about other people, the purpose and the shift comes from you to the other person, right? And that's, I think, the best way to get ourselves out of these whatever that is, that loop that you're in. So I think that's great. I love it. But you're bringing the energy. So I'm sure the people that are coming around you are getting that energy too, because I'm totally feeling it on here and I love it. I think it's awesome. I love what you're doing. Awesome.
I get it from them.
That's good. Well, Cam, what I want to say to you is if our people listening to this show are like, hey, we want to find out what Cam is up to, where he's at, where he's speaking, all those good things, where do we want to send them?
You can find me at CamFAwesome and CamFAwesome.com.
Okay.
I keynote speaker. I of course speak at schools. I do the comedy at schools with morals and messages. I do keynote speeches on resilience and gratitude. And as captain of the USA National Boxing Team, I travel to over 30 countries. And what I would do as captain is learn the do's and the don'ts of each country, and then relay that message to my teammates so we don't make ourselves look like idiots.
Yeah, that's good.
Through doing that for over a decade, I learned a lot about cultural communication. So I also speak about cultural communication in the workplace.
That's good. Yeah.
You can find more information on my website.
Yeah, that's good. I did go on your site. I'm just making you say it. Like I said, I already checked out your stuff. I peeked at the Netflix documentary and all that good stuff. Because I was like, I got to find out all I can. Like I get my people on here. I kind of want to know who they are, what they're doing, a little bit about them, but I checked you out. You're doing good stuff. I love it. And I really think the big thing here is, this willingness to do the work and be okay with that, right? Like being willing to do what it takes to get the job done, whatever that goal is you're trying to achieve. And I think also it's important to say that you're going to stand out from the other people. And there is the possibility that people are not going to support that what you're doing. They're not going to be behind you all the time when you're doing it. You're going to have to be willing to take that on, like you mentioned, and be okay being in that smaller circle, to get where you want to get. So,
and when you do the number 2, celebrate it. You don't have to be humble. And you said that woman, especially. So my girlfriend, I didn't read it, but my girlfriend reads chapters of books to me that she feels are relevant to me. And she was telling me that the Tamed or Untamed by Glennon Doyle.
Okay.
She explains a part of the book where she walks into they're having a slumber party at her house, her kids. She walks into the boys' room, says, "Are you guys hungry?" They're like, "Yeah." They all raise their hands. And she goes to the girls' room. She's like, "Hey, you guys hungry?" And they all look at each other.
Right.
And the one girl speaks on behalf of all of them and says, "No, I think we're okay." And it shows that from an early age, women are conditioned to not be a burden, to not inconvenience other people.
Right. That's good.
And those habits and traits translate into the business world too. When you think you may not deserve the raise, even though you do, and no one's gonna speak up for you until you do, because no one's gonna want your success more than you are. So we do have to work on some of that deconditioning and reconditioning to actually believe in ourselves. And it's not going to look like what's comfortable. It's not going to look like what you're doing right now.
Right.
So I just wanted to point that out.
Yeah, that's good. No, thank you. Thank you.
It doesn't happen overnight, by the way.
Yeah, no, thank you for sharing that. And you're right, it is. There's a lot of condition we have to unprogram, like deprogram, whatever you want to say, pull it out, extract it, right? To be able to move into that space. Cam, this has been so awesome. I know I could keep you on here forever, but I know you're a busy person like I am. I'm so glad I got you on here. I'm so glad we got to chat. I love your energy, love what you're doing, and keep inspiring and doing all the things that make you happy, because in the process of that, we're blessing other people. I think it fills our cup too. So keep doing what you're doing.
Awesome.
We'll make sure too, when this
this
goes out, we'll get your website on there so they know how to find you and connect with you if they want to learn more about what you're doing.
Reach out to me even if you have nothing to offer. I just want to talk to you.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely.
Yeah.
This is great. Well, I do, of course, want to say to our listeners, if you enjoy our show, go check us out on Apple. Give us a rating over there. Hit that subscribe button on the YouTube so we can keep sharing all these incredible stories and talking to people like Cam F. Awesome, who is awesome, and all that good stuff. And as I always say, in order to live the extraordinary, you must start. And every start begins with a decision. You guys take care. Be safe. Be kind to one another. We will see you next time.